Good afternoon, BBQ2U audience on YouTube and Facebook. How is everyone today?
Doing
Hi, Gary.
good.
Hey, Larry. So we
Hello.
have we have a guest today. We have Larry Fowler, who is one of the authors that spends a lot of time at BBQ2U, and
Who?
Gary Parker. I'm going to let you introduce Larry, a little bit about your history with him, and
Who do
what
we
do you
have?
know?
We have a guest today.
We
What?
do.
Wow. We're getting uptown in this thing. Hey everybody. Here's for all the Facebook faithful out there and the YouTube faithful and all you guys that are out there. I have my good friend and fellow author Larry Fowler here, and he's going to talk to you in a minute about his books. But before I let him start, plugging his books, we got to talk barbecue. So Larry, how's your latest brisket going?
Uh, I'm having a little difficulty hearing, but go ahead.
He's asked.
Tell us about your brisket.
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 Oh, you talked about brisket?
Yes.
Yeah, he wants
Did
to
you
know
ask
about your
about
brisket. Yeah.
I have to tell people, I tell people this all the time. I owe Gary many great debts, and one of them is for teaching me how to make brisket.
Hey, there we go.
Yes, and I love it. I love to eat it here, but I also love to make it at home.
There you go. There you go. See, I can teach anybody. Anyway, let me tell you a little background on Larry before I let him talk about his book. So, if you remember, we've told the story here multiple times, right? About when COVID came in and nobody else could do things, and we had the big backup at the counters because we were one of three restaurants open. And remember, I told you about how we brought in other businesses and authors and stuff like that to entertain the crowd for the most part. Larry was the first person that we invited to come sit in the lobby and talk to people back during the big COVID rush. And in fact, I think the first book, correct me if I'm wrong, Larry, you completed the first book sitting over in the corner at the lobby, in the slow times during that time period, right?
Probably my second book, right? Yes, the second
The
book.
second book. Yeah. So you've written three, right? And we
Correct.
have them here in the author's corner. Why don't you tell us a little bit about them?
Well, I like to write stories about history and tell them as novels or tell them as stories because I think that's a way that people can engage in what really happened. But I pick stories that historians tend to overlook. And the first story was I call it Lincoln Raw, and I'm telling the story of Lincoln. In fact, I'm having him tell the story of his life before he became president. And to do that, I had to research how people described his emotions and his reactions to his environment and to the people around him, and then to tell the story in that fashion. It's an angle that historians don't deal with. My second book, the one that I completed here, The Turn, is about Lincoln and his valet and their relationship. And a lot of it is about how that young man, who was only 25 years old, he was a young African man who had only worked as a laborer before he became Lincoln's valet. But it was about how he influenced Lincoln during Lincoln's presidency when Lincoln was struggling with issues of race. Because as historians have all told us, Lincoln went through a great transformation during his presidency on racial issues. The third book I did is probably the most, to me, it's the most overlooked but powerful story probably in all of American history. It's about Lincoln, not just his relationship, but his wife's relationship with a very shy and or she was shy of the public. And there's her picture. Um, she was an army nurse who came into their lives when their son Willie died during the war. She was also a nurse for 90 bed ward in an army hospital, tending to wounded and sick soldiers. She refused to give up that duty, but she also accepted the responsibility of taking care of the Lincoln family. And President Lincoln used to escort her daily. between the White House and the hospital. Mrs. Lincoln kept trying to get her to give up the hospital and move in with the family and live actually in the family quarters in the White House and be a part of the family because their relationship was so special. Just to give you a couple of clues as to how special that relationship was, 20 years after she died, the Boston Globe ran an article in which they described her as the staff upon which the president leaned during frequent times of sorrow and uncertainty. Lincoln, in fact, said to her, sitting at breakfast upstairs in the White House in the family dining room one morning, he said to her, "Mrs. Pomeroy, when you're an old woman, please tell your grandchildren how greatly indebted the nation is to you for holding up my hands in time of trouble." That was a special comment because Lincoln was a great student of the Bible. And what he did in that comment was he invoked an image that said, if I am to be America's Moses, it is because you are our high priest. And you know, we don't hear of things that powerful being said about people close to the president, any president. So and only one other book has ever been written about her life, and it was published in 1884, 160 years ago. So this new book, Lincoln's Angel, the Rebecca Pomeroy story, is a story of her life. It starts with her mid-teens and carries all the way through until she dies, and covers the time that she was in the White House with the family.
That's fantastic. It's a great story. So Larry, how did a lot of people that are going to see this, they're not necessarily here in Little Gig Harbor, right? They watch it from around the country. How do we get your QR code or something along that line so people know how to zap in and grab that book?
Okay, well, I think you've already told people they can come here to the restaurant and get it.
Right.
But it's also available on my website, which is dlfowler.com. My first name is Dennis, my middle name is Larry, and my last name is Fowler. So it's that easy, dlfowler.com. And you can buy it in different formats directly from me. You can buy it at special order at almost any bookstore in the world, and you can buy it on Amazon.
That's outstanding. Good job.
Thank you. Well, I do want to. I don't think I talked much about the corner here, and I do want to take a couple of minutes to just say how greatly indebted the authors of this area are to you, Gary, for making this space available to us to meet the public, to share our stories, and to sell our books. And for those of you who are watching this, Gary does not collect a dime out of out of the author's corner. It's something he does because he cares deeply about literacy and about his community, and we just are grateful to be beneficiaries of Gary's love.
Well, thanks for that.
Thanks, Larry. Do we embarrass you, Gary?
Yeah, see, I'm blushing and everything.
I see that. Oh my gosh.
No, but it is true. Nobody takes care of these guys, and some of the things we learned when we did our research about this. Some of these places where these authors can go, whether they be supermarkets or malls or where have you that they go to, many of those people are taking a % of sale, right? And they don't even get to display their stuff very long, right? And so when we decided we were going to do it, we were going to be a true community partner with the Literary Society and the authors and give them, it's not very many square feet, but it's enough, right, to put some shelves. We have 84 titles out there now, from 30 different authors, right? And it's really getting to be known as a place that if you're looking for a quick gift, if you're looking for stocking stuffers during the holidays, come in and grab your dinner, check out the library and pick up one of these authors' books, right? To fill your weekend or to use as a gift or what have you. So it's really a special thing. It's for the authors, by the authors. I really just supply the space. They do all the work, and we really appreciate them making BBQ2U special.
I agree. Everything said. Nice
Yep.
to have you, Larry. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
And
Okay.
you are there in the store at Point Fosdick through Saturday, or?
Through Saturday, right? Yes.
Okay, very good. So you can stop by
I'll
and
be
have Larry sign one of his books. What's
Oh
that?
yeah.
Yes, I'll sign the books. I'll be back here in May as well.
Excellent.
So tell us about your book signing party. You got about 2 minutes or a minute left. So let's. What's your book signing party that's coming up?
Yes, we're planning one for late May. Actually, it's going, and we're going to have the launch event for this new book I came out with on the Labor Day weekend, Memorial Day weekend. I think it's the 27th. It's a Saturday. It'll be in the afternoon. And one of the features that we're going to have is a literary trivia contest.
Okay.
And we'll have some prizes to give out. So people, especially who love books and who want to come in and show off how well read they are, here will be a great opportunity for you to do it in public.
So there you go. Come in, grab a shiner, right? Grab your brisket,
Yes.
find your seat in the lobby, right? And I think
Right.
that's going to happen on the 26th. I think it is.
The 26th it is of May, right? Yeah.
26th of May, right? So we're just going to have a regular old trivia contest, and we'll see how well read the community is, right? I have to get some pictures for that and put it back out once we're done. But these authors do these book signing parties here at BBQ2U, and the one we did in March was for St. Patty's Day. Was an Irish celebration, and we had the band in here, and we sold and we talked Irish, and we had everything green, and it was a ton of fun. So Larry's going to set the bar even higher in May.
I'm not sure. I didn't hear what you said, but go ahead.
So I think
so May 26th book signing party. Larry Fowler, will you be there with all of your books or just the latest book? Or
I'll have all three books here.
Okay.
Yes, I have them in hardcover and paperback.
Very good. Well, thanks, Larry. Thanks again for being here today, and we hope to see you this week through Saturday, and then at your book signing, and then I know you'll be there in the store again. So keep an eye on our social media. We typically announce which authors are present in the store, so we look forward to seeing you again. Thanks.
Thank you much.
Yep.
All right, Gary. So now
what's our barbecue topic today?
We have the topic that we have today is getting ready to grill again, since we have the sun coming out in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. So this is when you give your typical lecture about cleaning the grill and safety for your colder items, cleaning your pit.
If you haven't done it already,
we really want to say it that way, but yeah.
If you haven't done it already, get yourself out there, get your brushes, and get those pits cleaned up, right? It's been sitting there all winter, and Mother's Day's coming up, Memorial Day's coming up. You're going to want to use it. Get that thing in good shape. Get them brushes out. Get them grills clean. Get the check all. If you're grilling with propane and that kind of stuff, check all those connections. Make sure your bottle's in date and service date, because a lot of this is most common over the winter. The date codes on those bottles expire, and you've got guests coming in an hour, and you think you're going to run down to the store here and go get your bottle filled up, and then you get there and you find out that you're out of date now, and you don't have a bottle to take back home and fire the grill up, right? So you got to check those date codes. Don't wait till the last minute. Check those hoses, those igniters. Make sure that you don't have a bunch of clogged gas ports, and be safe about the grills. If you're running the stick burners like I do, that you got to get in there. You got to pressure wash all that creosote out from last year. You got to reach up inside those chimneys and pull that stuff out. Number one problem on those stick burners is the chimneys get poor airflow in them because nobody remembers to clean them, right? I remember the first time I learned that lesson, and I reached up in there, and and I brought about 6 pounds of creosote out of that chimney. Yeah. And amazingly, it started breathing and it started cooking right again. So big deal on those chimneys, on those stick burners. But yeah, get out there and do that. And then when you're done cleaning them, get them hot. Go ahead and sterilize them once, right? One other thing, I always forget to say this. Don't hesitate that when you're doing your burn after cleaning it. I like getting the little aerators, that will take vegetable oil and atomize it, like a spray can, because you pour it in there and you can pump it up and then you can spray it all over your grill. That will give it an oil coat as you're doing that burn, right? And then things won't stick as bad on your first use as you start to use your grill again. So get out there, make sure they're safe, get them clean, get them ready for the fun that's about to come up in this year.
Sounds good. So you all been warned. There's the steps. So how about philanthropy, Gary? What's going on around the store with philanthropy this time of month?
Well,
coming to the end of April.
Let's go around the store, right? So starting in the front of the store with the authors, right? So we got Larry in here this week. Next week we've got E.C. Murray as we transition to May. And we got John German, E.C. Murray again, Larry Fowler again, and our good friend Mark Miller coming in. Mark Miller's kind of an interesting guy. He's retired FBI, so he writes a lot of mystery novels and stuff like that based off his career. So that's the author's corner. As we go to the front of the store, over by the counter, we have the youth organization. So in May, I don't think we have anybody next week, but in May, we have Gig Harbor Key Club coming back in for their second time this year. We have a couple private schools. Ciudadino, I think, Cordino is how you say it. It's a new one for us, but they're a wonderful private school. Followed by that, we have the Literary Society is going to do a counter takeover. These are all the authors, right? So they've got their society, and they're starting to get ready to do things like go to the art festivals and stuff like that. So they're doing a counter takeover in May, and then we round out May with the Peninsula Boys Soccer League is going to be in to have big parties and to do their counter takeover. So that's the front of the store. On the 1st of May, here in the store, we've got Deborah Johnson coming in to do her monthly paint class for the seniors. And so she always does that on the first Wednesday of every month on starting about 5 p.m. And that's a hoot if you've never been to that. And as always, we've got every Tuesday with senior bingo from 3 to 4. We're getting to where we may have to extend that. It has absolutely been standing room only lately, and so we're having great success with that. And then on the 31st of May, we'll do our senior movie. You guys remember that we rent the big Galaxy Theater, and you play a free movie for first come first served seniors. Whoever gets that, right? There's 100 seats over there, and they all fill up. It's really a hoot. So
what's the date of that again?
Huh?
What's the date of that again?
On May 31st. We have one here on April 26th, but the next week for the April, and then May 31st will be the May version of that.
When are vouchers available for the movie?
They come out 2 weeks before, so most likely they will. For May, they'll come out on May 20th or May 21st, which is Bingo Day. That's when I start passing them out, and of course the movie's 2 weeks later on the 31st. And we do still. I don't know if anybody's listening in real time, but we still have tickets available for this month, April 26th. Playing Wonka, the new Wonka. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Okay, so that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. What do I have? What do I have on my calendar? I think that's pretty much it for the upcoming month, as far as doing stuff. When spring comes, people are starting to get out there. They're kind of busy right now, so we don't do we don't do a lot of things. But soon we'll be doing another Java and Clay. There's probably going to be some trips to the Rainier's baseball, those kinds of activities throughout the spring. So just kind of waiting on the weather to go ahead and break over and get a little warmer.
Yeah, very good. Well, there's a lot going on. Wow. So the painting and the bingo and the movies coming up, and the May movie is the end of the month, but April 26th, there's still vouchers for Wonka. So they just come in and talk to you, or do they go to the counter? Or
no, they can go to the counter, or they can come in and talk to me if I'm here.
Okay, very good.
I always know where to find them.
Yeah, Well, is there anything else you want to share before we wrap up today?
Well, no, we didn't talk much about barbecue today. So,
Yeah.
what's going on? What's going on in your world with barbecue? You been out grilling yet?
No, I have been touring restaurants in Sumner and Puyallup and getting to know that area. And yeah, I had some amazing steamed buns with this really thick bacon on it. And that was delicious. And at a place called Oxbow in Sumner. And we've been grilling chicken. My friend is on a diet, so barbecue chicken is on the menu all the time. She's doing some fancy rub. And someone was just asking me about your sauce and your rubs and whether or not they're necessary on your meats. And I said, wow, it depends on who you ask. Some people are offended if you ask that question because they think, how could you imply that Gary's brisket needs sauce? I personally think it's great. And yeah, so that's all.
That's good.
Actually, there was the guy at the tire store. I was telling him about BBQ2U, and he got into all these questions about this month. I'm sure that we'll have some good and new and exciting barbecue topics to cover. So if there's something you'd love to hear.
Trivia.
What's that? Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll come up with questions and you have to answer them.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, I probably know them by now. But if there's a topic or a question that you have for Gary, slap it in the comments. Email us or contact us on the site. Let us know what that might be. We'd love to cover the things that you're interested in hearing about. So until next time, thank you.
See you, everybody. Thanks.